have made it. I've arrived. I am here with the JP High Tech. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. We made it. This was amazing, friend. I love this. I am changing your name. I know we didn't discuss this, but I'm changing your name. It should not be JP High Tech, it should be JP High Energy. This was so much energy from start to finish. The questions, the engagement, our conversation, the dialogue. It was such a great conversation. I mean, seriously, I am being interviewed, but I'm taking notes. This is the only sticky notes I could find near me. I'm taking notes during my own interview. It was just that amazing. And I think what you do here is 100% excellence, from the pre communication to prepping for the actual interview, your engagement with the people, and then this beautiful production. Listen, my friend, this is top notch.
Holy cow, this was such a fun interview. And JP, you're an exceptional host. I mean, I always felt comfortable. You let me know exactly where things were at, and you asked amazing questions. This is one of the first times that we've really had a conversation. We've been able to speak in the DMs and via text numerous times, but I felt like I was talking with a friend throughout the whole interview. So thank you so much for being such a great host.
You already know the high quality, the quality. That's the word that I put next to it, is quality, and there's nothing like this out there, honestly. And I definitely was a JP fanboy for a while because.
Hey family, guess what? The Content Creators University is a show that airs every single week, but I want to connect with you. I want you to go ahead and download my mobile application. If you have an iPhone, go ahead and download my app called JP High Tech TV right now onto your phone. If you have a TV, a smart TV, my app is also available on your Roku TV, right? Go ahead and download JP High Tech TV on your Roku TV or your Amazon Fire TV right now, and let's connect together, right? I want you to grow with me. I want us to grow together. If you love podcasts, I'm also happy to tell you that the Content Creators University is available syndicated across every podcast platform. Apple Podcasts, Audible, Google Podcasts, you name it, we are there. Spotify and all of that. Go ahead and download it, listen to it, and do me a favor. If you appreciate what we're doing, go ahead and put it in the comment section. Leave me a review on any of those podcast platform or mobile application platform. Let me know if any of the hard work that we're putting into this community, this broadcast, this podcast is helping you. If you appreciate all the amazing guests that we're bringing onto the platform to share their expertise with you. This is a lot of work, family, and I'm doing all this in order for you to be able to grow your business the right way, leveraging content creation. Thanks so much. And if you appreciate what we do, go ahead as well subscribe to the YouTube channel, JP High Tech Reviews. Follow me personally if you want to, connect with me on all social media. And the handle is at JP High Tech. I love connecting. Like I always say, network is the new currency. So I want to see you online. I want to connect with you, and I want to hear from you. Let's grow together. Be safe, like I always say. See you next time. Shalom. Peace.
All right, family, welcome. Always an honor that you guys are joining us here every single Tuesday. This is our rendezvous, right? This is what we do. We meet and we grow together. We talk about things that you and I would need. And how do we do that? Well, we bring one of the best minds, tech professionals, leaders, experts here. What they do is come and teach you and now things that we need to do. We need to understand so that we are better, 1% better every single day, right? And that is the whole focus of this platform. If you're new here, allow me to, introduce myself. My name is JP High Tech. I'm your humble servant. I'm a global branding and media expert. So if you're watching this, or if you're listening to it, you need to come on YouTube and come and watch it. And if you're like, yo, JP, I really appreciate your production. We get this question all the time. This is what we do. We can help you with your brand, help you develop a premium brand, establish your podcast or your video presence or your visibility, right? I've been doing this for over 15 years, right? So I am the founder of an agency called Perfect Tune Productions. We're based in the state of Tennessee in the United States, and that is what we do. We work with entrepreneurs, corporations, and small business owners implement and dominate their competition, leveraging technology, content creation, and their visibility. So this is a Content Creators University. Our motto here is create, impact, and innovate. What are we doing? We're learning the business side of creating content. And when we're talking about creating content, there's one platform that we should care about is LinkedIn. Yes, you heard me right. LinkedIn, right? Our customers are on LinkedIn. Really? How is that? What are the strategies to implement in order to be successful on LinkedIn? How does LinkedIn even works when you're talking about finding customers, attracting them, or positioning yourself or your business in order to be discovered and really converting them? It's a different world on LinkedIn, right? So we'll talk about that today. But before we do that, our show is both listeners and sponsor supported. So what we do, we give a shout out to our sponsors, right? And then we bring our guests onto the stage. So don't go anywhere. Stay with me. We'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
This is Todd.
Hi.
This is Todd's mom.
Hi.
In a moment, Todd's mom will read her son's internet browsing history.
What?
Aloud, please.
No.
Supermodels on trampolines.com. Why don't girls like me? How to overcome an overbearing mother.
Okay, cut.
If you wouldn't want
Stop.
mom looking through your web history, why would you let hackers, ad companies, or your internet and cellular provider do the same thing?
Why does my junk burn?
They can track and record everything you do online, but not if you have ExpressVPN.
Why did you buy a $200 ninja outfit?
For fighting.
ExpressVPN apps keep your activity and identity private while you browse, stream, email, or download. Protect all of your devices with just one click.
Are my hands small?
Okay, I'm done. You guys are all terrible people.
ExpressVPN. Take back your privacy today.
Ooh.
All right, family, let's go ahead and talk about the news. Right here, we're bringing the news to you guys, and I'm very, very excited that you guys are joining us right now. Before I talk about the news, I want to give a shout out to the folks that are joining us right now. Hey, what's good, John Lacey? Thanks for joining us here on LinkedIn. Yes, sir. And I see about 17 people right there on YouTube. Thank you guys for being here. We have an exciting conversation that we're about to dive into today, right? So talking about the news, family, if you did not know, we have our own community that is called Content Creators University, right? All you have to do is go to contentcreatorsuniversity.com, create a free account right now, and join the free community, right? And like you heard me say, networking is the new currency. This is serious. If you really want to grow, a smart man said, you really got to surround yourself with smarter people. So in this community, you have leaders, content creators, people that are really amazing at what they do. And we surround ourselves with them and we all learn from each other. We all grow, right? These are people that are serious about what they're doing, serious about the business side of creating content. And so go ahead again and visit the website, contentcreatorsuniversity.com. And now give a shout out to ExpressVPN, of course, that is giving all the followers, all the folks that are following this podcast, 3 months free of VPN virtual private network. All you have to do is go to the website, expressvpn.com/JP High-Tech. High-Tech is HIGHTEK. If you're listening to the podcast, go there today on a 12-month subscription and get yourself free 3 months, right? Really, really, really amazing. But guess what, family? We have more. I know a lot of folks are like, JP, I didn't even know you had a book. If you didn't know, you're too late. This is the #1 Amazon best-selling book. I want to encourage you to go get today. It's called The Livestream Blueprint, right? And so go ahead, visit the website, thelivestreamblueprint.com right now. Get yourself a copy of the book. And when you do, let me know in the reviews, right? On Amazon or wherever you got it. It's available in all format. We're talking, hardcover, paperback, audio, you name it, ebook, all of that is available. Go ahead and get it today everywhere you can imagine, right? So now let's stop talking about all of this. We have a guest backstage, right? And her name is Michelle J. Raymond, right? And so allow me to say a little bit about her. And when she comes onto the stage, she can introduce herself better than I can do. But, unlocking LinkedIn potential for business growth is what Michelle J. Raymond does, right? As an international authority on LinkedIn company pages and B2B growth strategies, she's a go-to corporate trainer and two-time best-selling LinkedIn author who educates businesses, right? And on translating their offering into lucrative LinkedIn opportunities. Family, there's no better person than her to teach us the strategies of growing and impacting on LinkedIn. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get ready because this conversation is about to be good. I can't wait for her to be on the stage right after this intro. Let's go. Hey, Michelle, what's going on? Welcome to the Content Creators University. How are you today?
Oh, g'day, JP. I am having a fabulous time. Can I just say, I don't just appreciate your production levels, they are through the roof, my friend. I do lives probably 2 or 3 times a week for the last 4 years, and this show is like sky high above anything else I've ever been on. So kudos to you, my friend.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Touchdown from another expert. Thank you so much. That is highly, highly appreciated. High five, Michelle. Let's go. That's amazing. Thank you so much. We work so hard on this, and we're all about bringing value to our listeners and community members, people that are showing up, and you are our professor today, right? So we call our guests professors. And so Professor Raymond in the house. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So let's get started, right? We have a lot to talk about. And I see you, Tatiana Rodriguez, in the comment section. She said, looking forward to this conversation. Me too. So first question, before we dive into the nitty and gritty, Michelle, introduce yourself. Why didn't I say, what makes you so awesome? Let the folks know.
Yeah, thanks for that. And I am so excited to be here as well. And who am I? I'm Michelle J. Raymond, based down here in Sydney, Australia, if you haven't picked the accent already. And I just love all things LinkedIn. And it started because 20 years ago, I fell into B2B sales. Fast forward around 10 years ago, I started using LinkedIn to sell as part of my existing job and then realized, oh my God, this thing is the biggest opportunity to reach customers at scale, all from one spot. And so it was really time efficient. And so for me personally, I just love building communities, but I also love how do we leverage them after we've built them on LinkedIn, because that's where the decision makers are. How do we leverage them to grow our business? And I can't wait to share some practical tips with your audience today.
Amazing. Amazing. And folks, when I say that she get paid the big bucks, she does. And she's an expert in what she does. And she does it phenomenally. This is amazing. And I have a nice, comment there from Tatiana Rodriguez saying, I do love the accent. Me too. Pretty cool.
Oh, that's hilarious. Can I tell you, when I first got started doing podcasting and live streaming, all that kind of fun stuff, it's the difference between me now and me then. Back then, I was like, I hate my voice. Why would anyone want to listen to it? So, this can often be the thing that stops people from taking action on platforms, is the thing that we think people won't like in our head turns out to be our biggest advantage, and this is the prime example of that.
Exactly. And a lot of times we underestimate ourselves. And on a different podcast on yours earlier, you were talking about how we don't know how people look at us, right? You don't know. So the thing is that we really got to embrace our strength and not worry about the things we cannot control, because we only have, a certain amount of time to make an impact. And like they said, right, people are really looking for what you have to offer, and you have a lot to offer. So Michelle, let me ask you this, right? You are an expert in LinkedIn. So what inspired you to become an expert, right? Specifically in LinkedIn B2B growth?
Well, what happened, JP, was if you go back like the 10 years, like I said, when I first started on LinkedIn, I just got a new job in B2B sales at a new company in a new industry. And I used to sell raw materials and ingredients that go into beauty products. And you might think, what's that got to do with LinkedIn? Like, how did Michelle cross over? And which is a fair assumption. But what happened was, I realized very quickly in this new job, there was no way that I was ever going to compete with the people in the industry because I had no existing relationships. I had no technical knowledge about how you formulate skincare or shampoo. And so I thought, how can I differentiate myself? How can I be different? And so I got my job through LinkedIn and I saw that people were posting content and I thought, maybe I'll have a go at this. I dabbled on other platforms earlier just for fun, but this was my opportunity. I thought, hang on a minute. I can reach all these people that are in my network and I can start to create some content. And that's great. But then I realized if you just create content but not a community, you're talking to yourself, which is not my idea of fun. It's much more fun when someone else is there. And then slowly but surely I realized the combination of content and community is just so powerful. And so I did all of my content in service of my ideal customers. And you know what, JP? The sales opportunities just kept coming in. Like they were coming to me, not I was going chasing them. And I just thought, this thing is just amazing. I'd go to trade shows and I'd have a lineup of people coming and wanting to talk to me. And that's when I fell in love. But it wasn't until, about 4 years ago, March 2020, remember that little COVID thing that was going on? Well, that's when I quit my job. And I went from the highs of winning a $2 million order of a product at the company that I was working for. And that was from a LinkedIn post. So imagine how high I am. I am literally high-fiving myself to all of a sudden, I then quit on the spot because the owner reneged on that deal and pushed me under a bus and tried to destroy my reputation. It was like, ew. But then I realized, I wasn't going to work for anyone else, but I was going to then start to show other people to do what I'd been doing for the last 6 years. It was fun for me back then. It's still just as much fun now, even more now that I get to teach other people how to do it because, it's the platform where decision makers are, where people come to do business and where they're in buy mode. And that's, if you want to grow a business, why not be, go fishing where the fish are is what I'm always quoted as saying. And, that holds true today.
So, today, and that's fantastic, right? That you specifically decided to go B2B. And what we're talking about B2B, business to business, for the folks that do not understand that, is like you just said, right? On LinkedIn are the folks that make decisions, are the folks that will not go through a whole lot of back and forth, that can really spend the money and make a decision and onboard you and, embrace a specific solution that you have. So if we're talking about an easy way to really cut through the clutter and get in front of the face of decision makers, well, we're talking about LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn, very, very important.
No one needs another email in their life, JP. That's what I discovered very quickly is that if I was going to try and just bombard people with emails, they stopped answering the phone, so you couldn't reach them that way. It was like, how can I be more creative? How can I find a different way? And by going in service and creating content that helps the person solve the problems and challenges they have on the other side, all of a sudden, there's no more gatekeepers. There's no more receptionists that I have to try and get past. And I just, I don't know. I just think that it's almost makes it a bit too easy, and I hope that the listeners today take this away is that when you just show up and be in service of other people, there is so many opportunities on the platform and it does work for everybody if you follow certain processes.
And well, let's talk about that, right? Because that's why we have you here today for a short period of time. So let's talk about the processes, the strategies. What exactly are we missing? Because a lot of folks will tell you, Michelle, I'm on LinkedIn. I've been on LinkedIn for a few years now. I mean, it's not working just like any other social media for me. What are you doing? Can we talk about some key insights, right, into, why LinkedIn is such a powerful platform for businesses? What strategy do you have?
Look, my strategy is all about how do you build a personal brand? And on LinkedIn, we use our LinkedIn profiles. and also combine that with the power of a strong business brand, and that's through your company page. Now, a lot of people that I come across, and especially in smaller businesses, they're ignoring building their company page and brand. And why did that happen? Well, because the simple fact is you don't get as much reach if you do a post, exactly the same post, one personal and one on the company page. The company page one doesn't go as far. And I'm not here to change anybody's mind on that. That's just fact. But what the problem is that by cutting off that business brand, you almost miss a massive opportunity to use that to build up your personal brand and vice versa. So, having a LinkedIn profile that really doesn't undersell yourself. If I could get anything out of my message today, it would be, go back, take a look. Does your profile really best reflect your skills and what you're up to today? Not 5 years ago when you last went a job, and it doesn't matter whether you're in the market to look for a new job. Stop underselling yourself, and that's the biggest issue that I see with people. And the company page, they're often like the neglected wasteland, the ghost town, and nobody puts any effort in. Then they go, Michelle, it doesn't work, similar to what you said before. So bring the two together, make sure that they're both updated and reflect very obviously what is it that you do, who is it that you serve, and what problem do you solve. Let's keep it really simple. Right? No need to overcomplicate these things. I know a lot of people like to make these things complicated. I'm the other. Let's strip it back and do the basics really well. And those two things are your foundation that we build other things on top of.
See, I love it. I love it because what you're saying is clear, is easy to follow. And so as a recap, right, we really want to make sure the information that we have on our LinkedIn pages or whether it's the business or personal, is up to date. Not something that we put a very long time ago that is not accurate anymore. And so that's very important. And not only that, understanding that we have to leverage both our personal and business pages in order for our reach to be big, right? In order to impact most people. So now let's talk about the mistakes, right? Now that you've said that, what would you say, right? Let's say you're onboarding a new client. What would you say, based on your expertise and years in the business, are some of those common mistakes businesses are making when it comes out to leveraging LinkedIn, and how can they avoid those mistakes?
I think when it comes to the business to business space on LinkedIn, even though social media and selling on social media and digital marketing in general has been around for a long time, most people in that business to business space do not have a strategy for being active on the platform. Now, LinkedIn's been around for 20 years, JP. It is not new, but even LinkedIn themselves, only in the last 12, 18 months, they've just woken up and realized that, hang on a minute, why are there no people on here, no businesses and brands on here that are promoting themselves? So we're actually at the beginning of this journey for a lot of business to business companies. And so if you're one of those companies sitting back going, oh, it's just social media, it's for people showing off or silly dances or discrediting it, you are going to get left behind. And so sitting on the sidelines because of your own personal fears of LinkedIn, I'm going to call it, most people are petrified of putting themselves out there on LinkedIn, and that holds back their businesses. So I think the biggest mistake I see is people's own fears of putting themselves out there hold back their whole business from building powerful brands on the platform. And that's the number one problem I see, is that they're just not getting in the game and they're getting left behind. And I tell you, even with my help, no matter how much expertise I have, if you give your competitor a head start and own your industry's community, it is so hard to play the catch-up game because they've already got a cool place to hang out. Why would they leave that and come and hang out with your business and your community? So we have to get out there first. And there's a real opportunity even today in 2024. You may think, hasn't that, horse already bolted? No, if we're talking the business to consumer, so B2C, they nailed this 10 years ago. Like they were 15 years ago, maybe even. But for B2B, it's happening now. Now is your chance to really shine.
I love the distinction that you put there, right, between B2C and B2B, and implementing that strategy so that you can really leverage traffic, because we understand industries now, companies now, that's what they're looking for, right? Everyone is trying to get the most traffic towards their product or services so they can leverage the traffic and convert people. And the more traffic, like this say, right, the more potential you have to convert. Now, talking about that, right, as content creators, because now that's the new thing. You have so many podcasts, so many content being created by different companies and individuals. Now, when we're talking about, like driving in engagement, because that's what this is all about, right? Really getting engagement. What specific strategy would you say works the best, right? Or you will recommend in order for a company to start getting good engagement? What would you say? Is it posting videos? Is it releasing a podcast? Is it, writing a post every day? What is it they're lost? Give us the insights.
Well, I know that people want me to jump straight to algorithm talk, but I'm actually going to give you the best social media tip comes from my 94-year-old grandmother. And that is, what goes around comes around. If you want to get, you need to give. And so show up and show people how you're generous with your engagement. And you know what happens? It comes back at you tenfold. The more you give, the more you get. And it's easy for companies to think, oh, it's not really our job. Our job is to broadcast about how amazing our business is. The fact is, nobody cares. I don't care about your financial figures. I don't care about how amazing you are. I just want to know how you can help me and take my problems away. Ultimately, that's why businesses exist, because a client's got a pain point and they pay money to make that problem go away. And so the more that, again, you show up in service and get out there and engage in the community, support your employees to get out there and do the same thing. This is a team sport. LinkedIn is absolutely not just either or, it's everybody in, and not just the marketing team, CEOs, all the way down and everywhere in between. We need everyone playing on the platform. And, some people might be, the posting content, they might be out there creating, and then other people might be the ones that cheer them on. And then there are others that might do some stuff in the background. And so it's bringing out the best in your team to bring the best content out there in service of your community. And that is what drives engagement. When community sees value in your content, like the shows that you put on here, I have no doubt your community walks away every show going, I'm coming back next week for more, and the next week and the next week. I'm going to sign up for your podcast. I am going to read your book, because they can trust you that you're delivering the goods every single time. And so for me, the best thing that I can do is build relationships and nurture relationships with people, because we know from the research that in B2B space at any one time, 95% of your market is not looking to buy. That makes a very small 5% who have probably already been doing their research for, 12, 18 months before is often the length of buying cycles in this space. I used to sell products. I'd talk about them today. I wouldn't get an invoice or a purchase order, 18 months, 2 years down the track. And that happens with these big dollar deals. We have to be patient. So make sure you're staying top of mind and engaging content. I mean, when it comes to LinkedIn, nothing beats LinkedIn Lives. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on your show. I love them because it's such a great way to establish your brand, have that direct interaction with your audience. And to me, that engagement is so legitimate as opposed to the engagement pods and the AI generated content that's out there, the templated posts, they're making me, it's just gross some days on the platform. And so, I personally, love LinkedIn Lives because they're your opportunity to shine, and you can shine on anyone in the business, not just one person, the whole team, which is kind of cool.
It's powerful what you're saying, and I hope the listeners or the viewers are catching that, because what you're saying is so strong that sometimes we overlook those type of things, right? We want a magic formula a lot of times, but sometimes it's as easy as you said, right? Like the more you give, the more you receive. So when you think about that, like you're talking about building a brand and creating engagement, I'm gonna break it down the way you say it, right? Is the more engaged you are on the platform, the more engagement you will receive in return, which is amazing, right? That means that you're truly developing genuine relationship, genuine connections, right? You're really taking the effort in connecting with people and providing value, because that is what they will notice the more you do that, and they will notice your business and notice your expertise and visit your page. And from there, now you have traffic, now you have people following you, which will be engagement. Now we have a question here from Tatiana, and she's like, can you touch on person to person? I'm one person wanting to connect with educators compared to B2C or B2B. Care to elaborate?
Yeah, the opportunity is equal for everybody on the platform. What I love about this question is she has a target in mind. There's a clear goal about what you're trying to achieve. And most people skip that step. They just want to get to, let's create content, or let's have a direct messaging strategy, and let's spam as many people with connections. What I love is you're clear about what you want. The best thing that you can do, go straight to the search bar, type in those keywords. It is the most underrated and powerful feature of LinkedIn that nobody talks about. Why? It's unsexy, it's uncool, and you think, oh, I've just got to keep mindlessly scrolling until I hope that the LinkedIn algorithm serves up something that's going to help me grow my business. Now, newsflash, the only job of that LinkedIn algorithm is to keep you scrolling for as long as possible, so
Right.
you watch as many ads as possible. It's not here to help, but I'm all about taking things into your own hands. So Tatiana, straight up to the search bar, type in those keywords, and then start connecting intentionally with your ideal audience that you've written there. And it is so easy on LinkedIn. They give us these great filters. So if you say, I only want healthcare people in the USA, it will give you that. If you say you want healthcare people in Sydney, Australia, it will give you that local knowledge, or anywhere in between. And so take things into your own hands. This is why I say give to get as well. It's all about taking your power back and not just sitting back and going, it's the algorithm's fault that I didn't get the results that I wanted. It's not the algorithm's fault. Never is, never was. And this is your way of taking things into your own hands.
This is powerful. Thank you so much for that answer. Hopefully, Tatiana, you've taken something back from there. And of course, she said that, she loves it. I'll put that comment out back onto the screen. She said, love that mentality, to be a service and give great life advice. And that is amazing. And here's the thing, right? We need to slow down a little bit with this algorithm talk and AI talk and tech talk and software talk. And remember that we were here before them. We still will be here, and there's a human aspect that cannot be replicated regardless of what's created. And so whenever we drift away from the real, genuine human aspect, we're losing that true, genuine connection factor. That is what we're talking about here. And I love that you are bringing that onto the surface here. And I love that you're really emphasizing on that aspect. People, be human. Do human things, care about the people, and be intentional with the people you're connecting with, because then you do that stays in your, in your engagement factor. You receiving that back, and you have Tatiana saying, got it. Thank you very much, Tatiana. We appreciate you here. Now, let me ask you this question, Michelle. If you were to do it all over again, knowing all the things that you know today, right? Let's say now you have the opportunity, you have that power to go back and start all over. What is one thing you would do differently, and why?
You know what? The funny thing is, I've been thinking about this a lot, just in my own business, doing a lot of reflection on the things I'm proud of, the things maybe I'd change. And the one thing which I think is a lesson that would have helped me, the obvious answer is always understanding the power of a niche, having that target audience in mind and sticking to that. In the early days, I used to think that it was cutting off options, limiting the opportunities. And for me now, I realize it's just so powerful. It may feel like it's counterintuitive to, switch off to a much bigger audience. But I think the more that you can narrow down to, something that's commercially viable, we don't want to be, too niche that there's no one that will actually buy our services. But I think it's something that, coming from sales, my mentality was, pretty much back in the day, sell as much as I could of whatever I could, just keep the sales coming in. And I didn't realize that actually, that if I just narrow it down and say the best at these types of products, I can't be everything to everyone. That is something that would have driven my messaging better. It would have driven my content would have been more powerful, because the audience I was talking to would have felt like I was talking to them, as opposed to maybe they felt it some days. Maybe they're like, oh, this isn't for me. Maybe I talked about what they wanted every few months. And so for me, just narrowing down on that niche, and it's still something I think I struggle with. Sometimes, I got pretty strong out the gate on LinkedIn company pages were my thing. That's what everybody knew me about. But I boxed myself in too much. There wasn't so many options where I could sell my services. And that's now why I'm about talking about how do I help brands build their employee brands or the business brand on LinkedIn. So it's a little broader, but it's still clearly defined that it's in the B2B space. And it's just something that when you understand that, you can have conversations with these ideal audience, understand their problems in detail, understand the language they use. And there's so many other things that you can then just level up what you're doing. And, as someone that didn't have marketing experience, I always thought it was just the sales team that did everything. It had nothing to do with marketing or branding. And I've had to apologize. So I'll do it again on this show as well. But sorry to all the marketers that worked at the companies that I was at. But in fairness to me, B2B companies that I've worked in for 20 years didn't really have marketing teams. There might have been one person for a company that was huge. Like, I've worked for billion-dollar companies that didn't even have one marketing person. Like, that's how much B2B is behind in this space. So from that perspective, don't underestimate that power.
And that indeed is a power that we have today, because it's pretty much untapped, right? And also, going back to creating content, like you did mention that you really like live streaming. Now, let me get back to creating the content, right? What would you say, in your professional expertise, is the best content to create? Is it videos? Is it pictures? Is it just regular text? Or is it a balance of all of that? Or should you just have a strategy of going live, right? What would you say? I know there's no one solution that solves everybody's problem, but what would you lean on the most, and why?
So if you're making me pick a favorite child, the obvious standout for me is live streaming. Absolutely, hands down, live streaming. Right? Now, why? Because for me personally, I love how fun it can be, but mostly it's for its ability to be repurposed in so many different ways. It is the gift that keeps on giving. So first of all, you have an amazing conversation or a show with someone, whatever your format is. You have an amazing, quick setup. Doesn't have to be perfect. No scripting. I'm not a fan of scripted stuff. It just doesn't work for my brain at this point. But then ultimately, you've got short clips, you've got video, you can turn into podcasts, you can do all this cool stuff to repurpose that investment of time. And I mean, I'm sure that you have systems that you do that with your shows. But if I was to look at it, if someone said to me, what about podcasting? Michelle, you've got 2 podcasts. I do too. I hate listening to podcasts. Like, I find it really hard. But then also, I've written a couple of books and I have a YouTube channel. Why do I do all of that? It's because a little while back, I realized that as much as I love long form text, give me a book and let me read something, or a long newsletter or a long article. That's what I love the most. I don't really relate to YouTube videos. I find it hard to follow things along. I'm like, can someone just write me a step-by-step instruction? Like, that's how my brain works. And I realized that our communities are made up of all kinds of people. So I have my favorite that I enjoy creating. I have my favorite that I enjoy consuming, which is the long form. But then I also realize that I'm here not just because of the things that I love. I've got to put my message across in ways that resonate with all kinds of people. And so it's a little bit of everything. But yeah, if you make me choose, and I could only do one, I think live streaming, it's definitely, like I said, the gift that keeps giving for so long. Like video lasts for so long. You can just chop it up in so many different ways. Use the transcript, create audiograms, short clips. Like, yeah, look, I won't rave on about it. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but ultimately for me, I just think it's something that there's no pressure. Like not every show has to be high level production. Sometimes it can just be cool and stuff will happen.
Yep.
My first live stream, I forgot to hit go live. We were talking for 15 minutes before I realized we weren't even on there.
Oh boy. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, we've had the Amazon guy set a dog off in the background on a friend of mine. It's one of my favorite moments that still stands out to this day, no matter how many lives I've done, is just the look and laugh on our faces when it's like, did that really happen? And it did, and stuff does happen. And it's part of what makes it endearing, I think, is that quality that it is not scripted, it's not TV, it's humans being humans. And I don't think that there's any other real way that you can communicate that. I would say, like, if I had a least favorite, I think audio chat rooms are probably my least favorite, just because I don't learn by listening. It's just not my preferred style, not because they're not right for other people. But yeah, that's kind of the spectrum of how things fit in my creator world.
Hey, live stream, family. As you guys already know, yes, we win live stream, but of course, like she said, right, a balance of all types of content, and just that the emphasis on live stream is just giving you, like she said, right, it's giving you that unique edge because, you know, now you're cultivating a community, and that's one of the best ways, I should say, to, you know, build and foster a community is, you know, hosting a live stream. And LinkedIn is one of the platforms that doesn't have enough of that, right? If you compare it to YouTube and other one, LinkedIn need more businesses, more people to actually embrace this, and that's amazing. Love it. Now, you know, I want to talk about features a little bit, right? But before we talk about that, let's do a quick recap here. So for somebody that's, you know, coming new to, you know, LinkedIn, and I've been there, but not really, right? Like they created an account, but it's a ghost account, if you want to call it that. They're like, oh, I have an account, but I never use it, or type of thing. What will be, for example, the top 3 to 5 things you would tell somebody that's new to LinkedIn to implement right now that are very important to you? What would you say?
Yeah, so the first thing is just come in with a fresh set of eyes and an open mind that LinkedIn's changed a lot post-COVID. It is not the LinkedIn that maybe you tried it 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer. Lots of people have had LinkedIn profiles for 10, 15, 20 years. And so if that's you and you kind of think it's a bit cringy or it's a bit too much of this or that, come in with a fresh set of eyes and take a look, because I think you'll enjoy the platform that it's turning into now. I think they've found a good balance between personal and business, and I kind of like what's going on. Why do I love mine? Because I've built an amazing community. How do I do that? Strategically, go up to that search bar and look for people that will make a difference to you, that are helping you get towards whatever your business goal is. The more that you surround yourself with cool people, the more that they're heading, you know, helping you head towards your goal, the more fun it is. You know, we've got to have fun on these platforms. And I start with that because we forgot somewhere along the way, JP, that it's social media, right? It's not algorithm media. It's not AI media. It is social. And we forgot the social bit somewhere along the way. So find your people, like find the ones that you enjoy their content. You may laugh at it. You may, you know, learn something. You may kind of get angry at some stuff. I love people that create content I don't agree with, because it makes me stop and think. You know, I think if we're all the same, it's boring. So find your people. And then ultimately, I want you to make sure, if I was to receive a connection message from you and then I landed on your profile, would I get the best impression of you, or would I get some kind of half-baked version with missing facts and figures? The thing that I see is most people are missing all their achievements. Most people don't share about what's important to them. And so the about section on our LinkedIn profile, so you probably got 4 areas I want you to look at: your banner, your profile photo, your headline, and your about section. If you can spend some time and give them a bit of a refresh. So with your photo, I don't want to see something from 10 years ago. The oldest photo I've seen has been over 25 years old. I was like, the guy had a Magnum PI Tom Selleck mustache. And when I met him, he still had the mustache, but it was gray now, right? And so we want to make sure that people aren't going, hang on a minute, what's going on here? So we want to be approachable. And the banner is our opportunity to show a piece of ourselves. For some people, it might be just an image. Other people love words. I've just updated mine because I want to do more speaking. And you can see just how much that top area of our profile just really stands out. And the headline's important because I want you to get out there and do some commenting on other people's content. Because again, what goes around comes around. So go out and support some other people. And then that first 50 characters of your headline shows up pretty much everywhere you go on LinkedIn. So really make sure your headline, first 50 characters, and that's the piece that you can see on screen, which is just underneath your name. That's what we call the headline, but the first 50 characters are the most important. So use them wisely.
I mean, hopefully you guys are taking note, because these are some major advice that we need to implement. And of course, I know somebody will be like, yo, you talk about your customers on LinkedIn. How is this helping me as a business get customers? Well, the people that you're connecting with are your prospects. And those are people that you'll be able to convert. Now, one thing that I know people that are on LinkedIn will tell you is, you get those overwhelming messages from unwanted solicitations and just out of nowhere, people just bugging you and trying to sell you stuff. How or what should you do when you're connecting with folks not to come across like that? And how do you combat that? How do you deal with that so that you're not just overwhelming and just turn off the notifications?
Yeah, I'm glad you raised that point, because that's the reason why a lot of people, especially decision makers in, those higher positions, maybe CEO, or they've got managing director or those kind of titles, lazy salespeople on LinkedIn give us a bad reputation about how social selling is done well. And you need to be mindful of this, because when you're reaching out to connect, everybody has already got their defenses up and they are ready for you to just slime all over them and disappear. And we call that, the spray and pray approach, where people just get on the automation tools. Please do not use those. You put your whole account at risk if you jump on those automation tools, no matter how much it sounds appealing that you can send 1,000 messages to people.
Right.
You don't need to do that. You need to slow down, go back to what's my business goals, use the search bar specifically to find those people, and go deeper and just start to go, these are my target clients, and start to look for them. Now, templated approaches, no one wants that in their life. No one wants to accept a connection request and get punched in the face with a buy my stuff message. That's what it feels like. I don't know who thinks this works. It doesn't. Please stop. This is our public service announcement. But how can it be done? Because I'm not anti-sales. I'm showing up, selling every day. Sometimes soft selling just by mentioning what I do in my messages. Sometimes it's a hard sell where I say, this is what I do. And it's okay because I've earned the right, because I'm showing up in service of people. And so this is something I get pretty passionate about. How do you get out of that? Get creative. And what I mean by that is, when I send my connection messages, I customize, those, and I'll tell people, hey, by the way, I'm looking to grow my community of marketers in the US. This is what you can expect from my content. By the way, if you hit accept, you will not receive another, a spammy sales message. I come in peace. I literally tell them straight away, I'm I'm going to do it to you. And it makes people laugh just like you did. But if I don't do that, people go, oh my God, she's a LinkedIn trainer. She's out to get me. And I'm like, well, I
Mhm.
am. I make no apologies. Yes, I'm here to grow my business. But my business exists to help other people grow theirs. And so hopefully, by coming in peace with waving the white flag and having a bit of fun with it, don't be just, hey, I'm this, buy my stuff just because you've got the job title I want. That's why you can't see people active on the platform with these job titles, because they're
Mhm.
so sick to death of their experience on LinkedIn just being, hey, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Oh, you don't even want or have a need. Like, I love JP. I'm sure you get the ones that they reach out to me and go, would you like to learn about LinkedIn lead generation? We can do that for you. And I was like, you probably get it for people producing live stream content. And I was just like,
All the
oh,
time.
give me strength. Give me strength.
Yes, and I love your approach, waving the white flag and letting them know, listen, that I'm not here for that. Because when you think about it, who wants to put a ring on it on date number one? This is the first date. We don't know each other yet, and you're already asking me to marry you. Or come on, we cannot do that. And that is what they're doing. You have not developed any relationship. And you just go straight and sell. That is a no approach. And I love that, we're discussing this today. And I love that you embrace that as well, understanding that we need to take the time to actually be human and connect first. Maybe later, I'm going to add to what you said. One of my ways of selling is once I connect with you, I know you're going to get my notifications or what I do that will show up in, your timeline, right? You see me doing stuff. If you see me do what I do, guess what's going to happen? You might realize, I think I need his help.
Who would have thought?
I
That's how it
know.
works. And it then becomes a place where if you take away the fact that you're not out to get someone, there's
Mhm.
takes away that pressure, and people don't want to be salesy or spammy. And I'm like, well, if you own a business and you are using LinkedIn to grow that business, at some point you have to send direct messages to people to
Yes.
introduce yourself and start building those relationships, like you said. And we start that at just showing an interest and asking a question like, how long have you been doing that? Do you know this person? I'm going to this event. Are you going to it? Just little things. We're not even jumping to the step of, do you need to buy my products or services? It becomes immediately obvious because people want to work with people that they relate to, that they like
Mhm.
and share common values. And the more that the, Gen Z and, the millennials, they like to work with people that associate with those values even more so. And so taking the time to work out, are we the right fit, is part of their decision making process, even more
Mm.
so than, people that are like, I don't know, as old as me, like just, and this is the thing, we've got to be mindful of this. But if you just go, how can I show that I'm interested in just having a conversation with someone else with no hidden agenda, not the slimy one, JP, because this is what people decided. I would do training and I would say
Mhm.
to people, now, whatever you do not connect with someone. And then the next message you send to them, you send them the pitch slap, or you buy my stuff. So you know what people do out there now? They know that. So the automation tools are set up to go fake compliment, great to
Mhm.
connect, and then you do that. The next one, you get a pretend, vaguely interesting message. And then the one after that, they just punch you in the face.
Yeah.
So it's the
Yep.
hidden 1-2 punch. And I was like, it
Mm.
doesn't work. Like, you can feel it. It slimes all over you. And people are just like, you're not interested in me. There's nothing genuine about this. And, recently I've started going back to people where I've been on the end of it, where it's
Mm.
obviously just an automation tool. And I call them out and go, by the way, if you want to learn how to do this properly, I've got a service I can show you because this isn't working. Like, no, I do not want to buy a landscaping franchise in Tennessee. That's not where I'm probably going to end up. Like,
It makes no sense, right? Or you get a question that absolutely makes no sense to your life whatsoever, right? Like the question you cannot relate to it. It just makes no sense, and that's a problem. I have two questions. I can't believe we're almost at the end of our conversation. This is crazy. This is so good. One question that I have is, what are some of the lesser known, like features, right, on LinkedIn that you will say are beneficial, that you will encourage, people to, activate or have on their profile or pages?
Yeah, I think the thing that we've got to get away from, I just listened to Andy Crestodina talk at Social Media Marketing World, and he calls it algorithm marketing. We're at the mercy of the algorithm showing our content to the right people. There are two things which I love, and we've talked about live streamers enough, but I think that's one way where you can use invitations and get around the algorithm. So I'm going to park that for a minute. But I think the other thing that people need to seriously consider on LinkedIn is a newsletter. Why? Because it's the only place you can build subscribers. And then those subscribers, every time you post, get notified either on LinkedIn or an email sent to their inbox off LinkedIn, depending on their settings. And it also gets indexed by Google. Like, there is so much upside for LinkedIn newsletters, and they are doubling down because there's not really any other social platform that offers a solution like newsletters. And they know, they've done all the research. I've read it. You can go to places like the B2B Institute where they look into all this stuff. Decision makers in B2B businesses, and I would say in general, even as a consumer, go and look for original thought leadership pieces where they can start to learn more, which will encourage them to make different buying decisions. And so they want to see that you know your stuff. So expand your thoughts. Like, I'm all for short content. I love it, but there's a time and a place where we need to step out. Now, newsletters, you can go deep on one topic, or why I love them as well, you can repurpose a ton of stuff you've already created. So, use it to promote your shows, use it to, highlight a post that you did, use it to highlight some research, or just, expand your thoughts on a particular topic. So, given that we can now embed things like YouTube videos, we can embed episodes for our podcasts, all kinds of cool stuff, images, like they look cool, but ultimately it's that subscribers that, for some people, having your own email list off LinkedIn, I'm not saying don't go there and do that. But as far as tools within LinkedIn, if you've already built a community there, leverage that community some more. And, it's just, for me, it's the only time we don't have to rely on that silly algorithm, which never seems to work for us. That's not its job.
I know, right? It's not his job. And those are some amazing advice that you're giving to really grow, folks. I always say, let's not just listen and take note. Let's implement, right? That's how we're going to get a true transformation in our business. Let's go, let's do the work, and let's give it a realistic time to see a return on investment, right? Don't just start something for 30 days and be complaining that you're not getting that return. Give it a year or two, right? Because the most businesses that are successful, takes them at least 3 years to really break into their success. And from there, they're really doing amazing things. So let's be patient and let's really offer ourselves the time needed in order to grow. Now, I want to ask you one last question, and that just has to do with the future and, looking ahead. What really do you think? But let me go ahead and give a shout out to the folks that are joining us. I see you guys right there on Instagram. Thank you for being here with us, right? I appreciate you guys. And look at that, Mike Forrester. What's good? I like his comment when he said that people can feel it, right? He said, who's genuinely interested in creating a relationship and doing business versus being pitched in that slim style? It's just the truth. You can tell. It doesn't matter how you try. It doesn't matter the softwares you're using or how you're trying to manipulate the solutions and the AI tools and all of that. We can tell that you are not genuinely connecting with me, and that's just the bottom line. And so, like I was talking about, looking ahead, what trends, honestly, or development do you see or foresee, in the realm of LinkedIn marketing? And honestly, how can businesses, prepare for them? What would you say?
Look, I'm going to steer clear of the AI conversation. I think that's being done to death. It's here. There are tools. They will be part of our process, right? I'm not going to go there. I acknowledge where it's at, but I also don't think it's going to have as big an impact as what's made out right now.
Mhm.
I actually think those tools will be here to help us. But what is going to be the most powerful thing that we can do is build up brands for our employees. I think the rise of employee creators is going to be where we see things going for businesses to grow, especially for those that may not have budgets for paid strategies. You have to, rather than be, distrustful that if I help my employees shine, someone will poach them. What we
Mhm.
need to start doing is reframing it and going, how can we work as a team to shine a light on both the company brand so that the employees want to help share, and the personal brands of our employees, we're going to use the company to basically put them up on a pedestal. So when those people who are out having sales type conversations or relationship building conversations, they're walking in as like superstars. They're not walking in as unknowns, and they're already 10 foot tall and bulletproof. And so I think the power of branding is something that I personally I think I'm at the beginning of my own journey at understanding how powerful this is. But
Oh yeah.
it's like you said, having that one audience, being known in a particular way, showing up consistently. And I love that you gave those time frames for things to work. Like, I was in my head going, yes, yes, because patience, it's the people that consistently do these actions. That's what branding is, but it
Mhm.
takes time and persistency. And I think those people that don't give up and choose to excel at the things that they do are going to shine more than those, the hot and cold people that come to LinkedIn when they
Right.
want to sell
Right.
their course, and then they
Mhm.
disappear. And then 6 weeks before their next course, their automations kick in, or we're going to start posting, and then they disappear. Like, that is not going to work because people are
Mhm.
calling us out on that now. So quality over quantity. We don't
Mhm.
have to be, everything to everyone. And I think share those values of your business. What do you actually stand for and what makes you different? That's the only thing that AI can't replicate, is what you stand for and how you go about things and the people in your business. And so that's your asset, not leveraging another AI tool to try and replace your team. Like, I think we're going around it the wrong
Right.
way. Help support them and free them up to do stuff,
Mhm.
but yeah, I don't see it being the solution to everything that it's currently being painted to be.
Which I don't believe that's going to happen either. Yes, it is a good tool. Figure out how to use it to help you do what you already do. In your
Yeah.
business, help you do maybe faster, smoother, and in a better turnaround time. But to replace altogether, I don't see that. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So you may want to slow down there and realize that we should rely more on the human factor than we were thinking. You cannot eradicate humanity with computers. You just far fetched there.
Amen.
I know, right? For real. It's just insane there. So I'm not worried about that at all. And, for the folks that are like, oh, they're worried, don't worry at all, because that's not really realistic. Now, we can't let you go, right, without actually asking you. And my alarm is also telling me it's time. Look at that. But we can't let you go without you sharing with the folks. How can we connect with you, or people that want to book you, your service and all that? Let us know, what are you doing that's so fun. Talk about your podcast and all the fun stuff that you do. Please go ahead and share.
I appreciate the opportunity. So you are going to find me on LinkedIn. Wow, no shocked faces at that one. But here's how you're going to find me: Michelle J. Raymond. The J is there because there's thousands of other Michelle Raymonds on the platform. And so the J is the easiest way for you to find me. If you go to YouTube and type in at Michelle J. Raymond, you'll find my YouTube channel. And so, I've got resources here to help those businesses who want to leverage LinkedIn to grow. And that's what I do. That's what I'm passionate about. No cheap hacks or tricks. It is just the old fashioned way of doing the basics well and having a framework so you can stay focused on your real job and have
Mhm.
LinkedIn support that and, uncover opportunities that you may otherwise not have known about. So I love doing all of this. Yes, I've got the LinkedIn Branding Show is one of my podcasts. I also have social media for B2B Growth Podcast.
Mhm.
Yeah, lots of resources. Why I just love sharing what I've learned. So if I can help anyone that's listened to this, you're inspired but not sure how to take those steps, then just reach out and connect. That's the first simple step. I'm not going to bite.
She's not going to bot, I can tell you right now. And she's just amazing. A wealth of knowledge and wisdom. And specifically, her live shows, another platform that, will really help you in your LinkedIn growth journey, right? Like she said, we need to make those genuine connections and surround ourselves with people that and subject matter experts that we care about so that, we can also grow, also give, and also receive in return. So Michelle, thank you so much. We appreciate your time here. It was amazing. Man, we might need to bring you back again because this was really good. We have a lot to talk about. I have so many follow-up questions that I can ask in regards to strategies and, and all of that. So that would be, fantastic. So thank you again. Don't go anywhere. Let's go ahead and close it and we'll be right back with you. Thank you again. All right, family, as you can see, amazing stuff. Hopefully you go back and you implement every single thing she talk about because this is mind blowing and it is really, really an opportunity for you to grow, go get your customers and convert more by extending the reach of your business. Hopefully you appreciated this. If you do, go ahead and, connect. Let us know in the comment section, wherever you're listening or watching this from. We'll highly appreciate that. And we'll see you again next week, like we always do, for another episode here on the Content Creators University. Your humble servant, JP. I was glad to be here with you guys. See you guys next time. Be safe, like I would say. Shalom. Peace.